In the beginning, there was nothing, only darkness and silence. Then God spoke, and with his words, he created everything. The heavens and the earth, the sun and the moon, the oceans and mountains, the plants and animals. But his most special creation, people. God formed the first man, Adam, from the dust of the earth and breathed life into him. Adam opened his eyes, took his first breath, alive, created in God's own image. But God saw that Adam was alone, and he said, "It's not good for man to be alone." So while Adam slept, God took a rib from his side and made Eve, the first woman. She was a perfect companion, created to walk alongside him. God placed them in a paradise called the Garden of Eden. It was beautiful, trees heavy with fruit, rivers flowing with clear water, animals of every kind living in peace. There was no pain, no hunger, no death, only joy. And in the center of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave them everything they needed and just one rule. You may eat from any tree in the garden, except this one. If you eat from it, you will surely die. For a time, Adam and Eve lived in harmony, walking with God and caring for the garden. But one day, everything changed. A serpent slithered up to Eve near the forbidden tree. But this wasn't just any snake. This was Satan, the deceiver, in disguise. He hissed, "Did God really say you can't eat from this tree?" Eve paused. "God said we can eat from any tree except this one. If we do, we will die." The serpent smiled. "You won't die. God just doesn't want you to be like him. If you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you'll know good and evil." The temptation was too strong. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, ripe, and tempting. She thought, "What if this will make me wise, like God?" Without another thought, she reached out, took a bite and ate. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate too. And in that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but instead of gaining wisdom, they felt shame. They suddenly realized they were naked and afraid, so they quickly covered themselves with leaves and chid when they heard God walking in the garden. God called out, "Where are you?" Adam stepped forward, his voice trembling. "We hid because we were afraid." God, his heart heavy with sadness, asked, "Did you eat from the tree I told you not to?" Adam, feeling guilty, pointed to Eve. "She gave me the fruit." Eve lowered her head and said, "The serpent tricked me." God looked at them, his heart broken. They had disobeyed him, and because of that, everything had to change. Sin had entered the world. No longer could they stay in the garden. Life would now be full of struggle. Work would be hard. Pain would exist. And one day they would face death. But even in their failure, God showed mercy. Before sending them out, he made them clothes from animal skins to cover their shame. And he gave them a promise. One day, a savior would come to crush the serpent's power and restore what was lost. Adam and Eve left Eden, stepping into an unknown world. The paradise was behind them, guarded by angels with flaming swords. But God had not abandoned them. He still loved them. And his plan to save humanity had only just begun. Even when we fall, God's love never gives up on us.